Okay, so the last upload was a little bit rough even for me as an expert amateur mechanic, so let's do something a little bit less taxing. Today I'll show you how to do an oil and filter change on your Saab 9.3 Turbo. And don't worry, I got plenty more Saab videos coming. There's so many issues on the Saab that
I got enough fucking fingers, toes, limbs, air follicles to count.
So let's get started under the hood. Grab your T30 Torx on a ratchet and rip that engine cover off. I swear with the amount of times that I take it off, I should just keep it off at this point. Now take off the oil cap and pull the dipstick. In my brain as a professional amateur mechanic, this makes oil drain a hell of a lot quicker. As a great Australian automotive duo once said,
"The first step is to jack up your car."
And make sure you have 2 jack stands. I would use the Harbor Freight ones for a little bit of an extra spicy oil change, but those are long gone. Before we head underneath the bowels of the Saab, you're going to need some tools to aid your journey. Grab your 15mm wrench and favorite liquid collection receptacle and you're off to the races. Now get your 15mm wrench on the drain bolt and give it a nice whack towards the passenger side to break it loose.
Nice.
Quick tip, unscrew the drain bolt with your middle finger and thumb. As you unscrew it, apply resistance with your index finger to avoid losing the bolt in an oily mess. As soon as the bolt feels loose enough, get your liquid collection receptacle and have it ready to catch the fluid and quickly remove the drain bolt. As you can see, I've had a little bit of a mini Exxon Valdez level oil spill here, but like I said, amateur mechanic. Now as we wait for the oil to drain, let's just not sit around and twiddle our thumbs. Let's get to that oil filter and get that taken care of. Grab a 32mm socket on an extension. It's on the right side of the engine, slightly below the intake. All you have to do with the socket is just crack it open and you can unscrew the rest by hand. But as you pull it out, make sure you have something that you can place underneath to catch the oil that drips out. The new one I have is a Mobil 1 M1C 151A oil filter that comes with the new O-ring for the cap. I swear I'm not sponsored by Mobil 1, but please Mobil 1, if you're watching for some godforsaken reason, please sponsor me. And if you don't have a pick to grab the O-ring out from the oil cap, you can always use a small flat blade screwdriver to carefully take it out. But before putting the new one on, take some of the old oil and coat it to avoid it drying out. Now you're ready to slap the filter back in. From here you can screw it in by hand, then just give it a nice crank down with the socket. Back under the bowels of the Saab, once the oil is drained we can go ahead and refit the drain bolt and fit it tight. Now all that's left is refilling your oil. You're going to need 6.3 quarts of your choice of the good stuff. I just use whatever's recommended in the manual, and honestly this topic has just been absolutely beaten to death, especially for Saabs, on every single forum that you'll come across. For real, y'all are just weird. Stop arguing about whether 5W30 is better than OW40. To be honest, it actually is better, and that's what I'm going to be using. All jokes aside, use whatever you feel comfortable with. And of course I spill some here with my Bluetooth funnel. Now just slap your oil cap back on, reseat the dipstick, and do a once over to make sure all the orifices have been unorificed. Now it's time to start up the car and let the fresh life fluid circulate. To properly check the level, you're going to have to shut off the car and wait for a few minutes here. The oil needs to drain out of the head, and if you don't wait, you can risk an inaccurate reading and overfill by mistake. Otherwise, you're all done here. You have successfully completed the first step of Sub-Zero's road to being a professional amateur mechanic. If you've learned something new today, feel free to hit that like button. And if I've saved you a little bit of money teaching you how to do an oil change on your Saab by yourself, feel free to subscribe. And as always, thank you for watching.